Yeah, I know. We're at the playoffs. I kind of already said that was going to be the thing. But I'm still watching the Lakers on the East Coast. Watching them against Golden State. Right now, the score is 124 to 107 with a minute and 10 seconds left. I got a lot to say about this game, even though a lot of Laker fans don't care. But we still going to talk about it. Sheesh. What's up, Laker fans? You already know who it is. Wally World, baby. On the East Coast, per usual. 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, after midnight. Watching the Lakers. And we're not even in the playoffs. When you're a loyal fan, it comes with the territory. Sometimes you're celebrating at this time of night because you're moving on to the playoffs. Or you can be like this and discuss because you're not going to even make a play-in game. If you guys are still around, some of you have already crawled under a rock. For the ones who are not loyal Laker fans and say that this season is over and started to look for other sports to watch, we still here. We already know all the starters did not play tonight. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, so on and so forth. But a few did. Malik Monk played tonight. THT played tonight. Dwight Howard played tonight. A lot of the guys that were just role guys at the beginning of the year was finally getting their time to shine, to showcase their talent, to possibly see if they're going to be on this team next season. We're going to definitely talk about it. I want to say one thing. The Lakers, we knew that they possibly were going to lose to a Golden State Warriors team that is still fighting for seeding in the playoffs at home. And they were still trying to get their bearings under them by trying to get Klay Thompson involved to warm up and get ready for this playoff push with Steph Curry being out. Draymond Green still had to be Draymond Green, and the rest of the role guys still had to keep their fire. And some of the guys who normally don't play on down the bench got their time to show their mothers and fathers that, hey, I'm on TV. Now, with that all out the way, let's talk about the bright moments. We've been waiting on THT the whole year. THT goes and drop a 40-piece. A 40-piece? A 40-piece on Golden State. Malik Monk did what Malik Monk does. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Does Malik Monk things. And Dwight Howard goes out there again. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter if it's a major opponent or a low opponent. Gives you a double-double. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. We'll take that. I'm not understanding, again, why this man was sitting on the pine for so long. So now, we got 2 more games left. We're not even being spoilers at this point. We are 4-18 since the All-Star break, which should let all of you know that Frank Vogel is definitely fired.
I hope so.
There's no way that you keep your job being like this. And having the lapses of this game, because this game was still competitive all the way through the third quarter into the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. And in usual Frank Vogel team fashion, it started to slip away because people were not understanding the assignments. People were not locked in. And that stuff becomes an energy drainer when you know that this is how it's been all season. These are things that your coaches have to make sure, no matter who's on the floor, for their jobs of next season, to go out there and compete at a high level, which I think the Lakers did for their own talent, but not for coach's sake. Because no matter if you had your starters or your bench or your role guys, they had the same lapses. But one thing that I could tell you that was different in this game is the ones that we are saying, like myself, well, why did THT drop a 40-piece when we haven't seen him all year? Is because, again, the ball was not dominantly held by those 3 stars that we have. The individual ball handlers, the ones who don't know how to move the basketball around. When you move the basketball around, Lakers fans, if you watch the game, did it feel like the game was more fluent throughout the game? Because the ball continuously moved and everybody was able to touch it. Everybody was be able to flow and find a rhythm. This is what basketball is all about. It's not about 2K22 just having a superstar hold the ball, drop 55 points every night, and nobody gets nothing but we win the game by 3. The Lakers right now, if they had a defensive mindset team in which Frank Vogel was supposed to be the coach, to have that in order, this team would have won way more games. But this talent is not a defensive-minded team. Side note, when you ask for a lot of offense, you end up losing a lot of defense. And if you go back, if you're still in the la-la land of the championship world, we had a predominantly defensive-minded team that scored when needed be and scored when they could. We were holding guys under 94 points a game. But now everybody's getting 120 points, even with your stars out there. It's all about sacrifice. This is why I say about balance and fit. You got to have enough guys that can score, but also enough guys that just be defensively sound and sound-minded. Because if you have defensive-minded guys that are switching around and wings, I remember earlier this year we needed wings, and now the wings all year have killed us. The bigs, that's the problem right there. That's the problem. I said also at the beginning of the season that we need wings and bigs, and we lost because our wings and bigs were not good. I can't make this up. But hey, the season's over with, right? We throw that away. Now let's get to the bad. I know a lot of people love how the way Stanley Johnson plays, but Stanley Johnson is pure trash.
Thank you.
Now, he's a good defender, but having the ball in his hand more this game, having the option to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, to the point that Frank Vogel just allowed these guys to play, you still seen Stanley Johnson. He still gave you 8 points. He gave you a couple rebounds. He was out of control majority of his fast breaks. He couldn't even have, he has no vision on the floor to make the pass. He gets caught in the lane a whole lot, and he's undersized. This is why Stanley Johnson was sitting out the league, working at your nearest grocery store or your local supermarket. There's a reason why you're here. This is why I told my old coach used to say this to my team a long time ago. There's a reason why you where you are. If you think that you should be a starter, I would see that you have starter potential. But if I don't see you have starter potential, this is why you're on the far end of the bench. Sometimes it's not even about talent. Sometimes it's about circumstance. You may have all the talent on the world, but when the lights get real bright, some people shrink under pressure. This is where you get guys like Wayne Ellington that everybody's been waiting on all year. Wayne Ellington is an older guy, but this is 2 stints for the Lakers with 2 different squads, and his shot has just not came along. But his shot has always been great with smaller teams, Detroit, small market teams. That's the type of guy that he is. Everybody knowing la the lights get super bright. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of Laker Nation. Some people can't cut the mustard. The pluses of this year is Austin Reeves is starting to find his flow, but Austin Reeves still, if he even makes the team and come on the team, which I think he will, just because of his contract, will come back next year and he'll just be another role piece. Nothing major, nothing else. So I know you guys are sitting there saying, well, what should the Lakers do? We are in shambles. First things first, everyone knows the big contract, the $47.4 million that is owed to Russell Westbrook. Number one thing you have to do is just one thing you don't do is you don't seem desperate in business. As soon as you seem desperate, teams are going to lowball you and lowball you. Look at the Charlotte Hornets right now. The Charlotte Hornets are saying, we're interested. But what we're going to give you is an injured Gordon Hayward, who's as injured as Anthony Davis, if not worse. Miles Plumlee, which would end up being another DeAndre Jordan in a couple of games. And possibly Rozier. For Russ. Now, for the ones who hate Russ, horribly hate him, do you even think that's fair? I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. Don't think with your emotion. Is that even fair? Even with 3 guys for Russ, is that fair? Oh, by the way, the Lakers will have to give up possibly 2 second-round draft picks. Is that fair? Okay, cool. If you said that it's not fair, then that's how hard it is. Your next bet is Houston, but you haven't seen John Wall in 2 seasons. It'll be almost reaching 2 seasons. 18 months. Is that fair? Not to know if he's worked on his game, not to know if he's in shape, not to know if he's a better shooter, not to know if he even fit in a new system, because Frank Vogel will be fired. So now you're asking for that. They'll possibly have to give up Eric Gordon. Fairly old, you think? He doesn't play defense neither. And what's the point? You have guys like that already on your team. So the first thing you have to think about is what makes sense for the team and what are you able to get. So right now, if I'm the Lakers, I am definitely getting on the phone with multiple teams, having them battle it out. To be honest with you, I will battle it out with Houston and Charlotte and see if I can make a 3-team trade here. May the best man win and may the best pieces win. But that's neither here nor there. That's the first thing you want to touch on, because once you do that, it levels out the rest of what you're going to do for this team. Your second thing immediately is Malik Monk. Malik Monk came in here and showed you that I could put up buckets. He's not the best defender, but I think when you give him a role like anything else, and you get just like at work, if you know your role, you can be great in your role. But being able to have him in the start, take him out, have him in, take him out, play him 6-man, okay, don't play him at all. That stuff messes with your psyche because you don't get a rhythm. This game is all about rhythm. I need to know exactly what you need me to do. Same thing that was happening with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard showed you throughout the year that it was a mental thing with him when he didn't get any playing time. But he just had to fight through it in order to keep himself ready to be in game shape and game ready. And every time that Dwight Howard came in, 80% of the time he was game ready, double-doubles, competing. But Malik Monk should be second. Now the third thing you want to do is you want to see what the free agent market is out there. But you want to get guys that want to do the work that LeBron James, sorry guys, and Anthony Davis, sorry guys, don't want to do, which is hustle, rebound, understand assignments on defense, and be able to knock down a consistent shot. It doesn't always have to be threes. Look at DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't have to be, but you have to be more defensively sound than DeRozan. You want Stanley Johnson's defensive prowess, but you want a better scorer. Stanley Johnson is not on this team next season. Don't worry about that. So Bazemore, no. Trevor Ariza said, nah, I want out. I'll head out. Trevor Ariza didn't want no smoke in the last 3 games because Trevor Ariza was bad. Horrible. So we're going to have a lot of space to figure this team out and move it around. But your first priority is to see what you're going to do with Russ. See if you're going to get anything for Russ. And at this point of desperation, you could pick up guys for little to nothing that can play like the guy that you guys have seen before, Dennis Schroeder, who's really been in Houston just rotting away because they have so many guards. And if they're not playing John Wall, they're probably not going to play Schroeder. You've seen it for yourself. And Schroeder will not come with that $84 million mindset next season, as he's been fairly humble. You can pick him up. DJ Augustine, no. Too old here. all the old guys that we need truly is the one that we're paying the most money for. And that should be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But we're not guaranteeing that Russ is going to be gone because somebody has to pick up that $47.4 million. And I'm not going to say the players who was all in on this deal to have a strap like that. But we're going to just keep it quiet. Maybe it's the same guy that said that he wants to play with Steph Curry. I don't know. I have no idea. Carmelo Anthony, as much as I love Carmelo Anthony as a player, I feel as though definitely upgrade there. He definitely did what he could. But I also think that Frank Vogel had no idea what to do with him neither, because he actually just needed him to come in, hit some buckets, one-on-one, slow the game down. But because we never could sustain a lead long enough for him to be able to ice it, and you see his jump shot was actually fairly great. He's bad on defense, what we all knew, but that was not needed of him. And I said that from day one. It was never needed for him to be a defender. You need a guy to come in and ice the games. You need a guy that when we have a 9 or 10-point lead, you can bring in Will LeBron, AD, fourth quarter, who you going to go to, and Melo can shoot the open three. He can shoot the mid-range while everybody's driving and moving around. But the ball doesn't move. So I hope next year the coach that we receive, which I have no idea, I've heard the candidates, we'll do another segment on that, on the candidates, once it all comes full circle. But hopefully that coach wants the ball movement. Now, if you're asking me about the people that's already out there, yeah, we've heard of the rumors of Quinn that's in Utah, and we heard Doc Rivers. Give me Quinn. Because one thing that we can say about his offense, and you see in the Utah Jazz, the ball moves, and that's the only way that they're going to be effective, if the ball moves. He has a big just tree trunk of a center that's in the middle that has no offensive ability in Gobert, and they still find a way to win games by moving the basketball and keeping defenders moving and scrambling and messing up their mindsets. So, if I had a choice, if you're asking me now, but there's more coaches that will be let go and more coaches that will want to return, give me Quinn Snyder, give me him from Utah. But the rest of these guys, no bueno. Dwight Howard could definitely come back if you already have a plan for Dwight, or you have a backup role for Dwight where he knows exactly when the horn blows for his center. He's definitely coming in to do the dirty work. But we need a coach that understands that. But we can't make any guesses right now, because a new coach comes in and might want a totally different system. So I'm not here to push that agenda right now. We'll wait till the summer. We'll wait to find out who our champion is before we go into depth with that. But right now, the game looked okay with the talent that we had out there, because the ball moved and everybody had a time to touch it. So now I need you guys to go back to your superstars and look at how they play by holding the ball, as I've said all year, holding the ball, probing, waiting, holding it for 14 to 16 seconds in the shot clock, then trying to make a sudden decision. These teams are winning, as you've seen in the Golden State game tonight. No matter who's out there, the ball has to move, and people have to move and get into spaces and understand their assignments to be effective. This is not a one-on-one game. If they need that, go to the YMCA. But right now in this league, the way this league is now transitioning to the young guys, they're already faster than you. They're already younger than you. They're already more athletic than you. The best you can do is move the ball, because the ball moves faster than dribbling the air out of it. So let's just watch the next two games and let's see if THT can continue on with this. He's trying to prove to the Lakers organization, I'm worthy of why y'all kept me. Let's see if he can keep it up. Malik Monk is still fighting for his job, or for another team to say, hey, that's the piece we need, even if it is a six-man. Dwight Howard, let's see what he can do to see if he still has some more left in the tank. And everybody else, let's see if you can find a spot on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe Sam Presti might think that there's some good talent there. And on that note, La La Laker out. You already know. Give me my theme music.